Hello, darlings. Hello. Welcome to my channel. When we had the pandemic, okay, I feel this is what these politicians, government, whatever, has done. They scouted out America. And when they gave us these stimulus checks, they said the limit was like 74.5, real Pacific limit. So being that even if you made like 100,000, most people's tax consultant were good enough to be able to delete a lot of things to get it down to 74.5. So now that was the highest limit you can get for one person in order to get that stimulus check. Remember those stimulus checks? I'm not sure what was they, 1,500, 2,000, you know, those checks. Well, people thought, oh, it was such a good thing that the politicians, they're giving us money. It was never a good thing. It was to scout out America so they can find out how many poor people or how much money, how many people have limits over 6 figures. I did my homework and investigation. That's how I know. So they found out that 90% of Americans are broke, poor, under the threshold. 90% of America got those stimulus checks. There's only like 10% of America that's making over 100,000, and they did exclude movie stars and musicians and stuff like that in these findings, and of course sport players. So they wanted to know what they can do to you and put you in a little box. Okay, so basically now they know, you know, there's really not much you can do. Everybody gets this little bit of money, whoever received the stimulus check. They know that you really don't have any fight. You just put in these concentration camps that they built all around. I know you guys seen this during the pandemic, all these camps they were building all around in different states. New York and a whole bunch of other states. I can't recall, so otherwise I would say it. That's where they want to put everyone, okay? And that's why they says you will own nothing and be happy about it. I don't know about you, but I won't, okay? I won't be happy about it, okay? So it's really, really serious out here in these American streets, very serious. So basically, back to the Section 8 / public housing new policy that he signed an executive order for. Now, a miracle can always happen, and there can be some stipulations and things can change, but the way it looks, that's what's going to happen. You're getting thrown out in the streets. Americans thrown out in the streets. Most people in America cannot afford market rent. That's why we have these programs. Let's face reality. Most people with these Section 8 vouchers work. Now, I know a lot of people might think that this Section 8 program is for people who don't work, but most people work on a Section 8 program. It's a voucher, and it helps you with your rent. Now, some people in the public housing, which in a lot of states that I have covered, have been there and have clients in. A lot of the projects, that's what they call it, okay? The projects, public housing, have been tore down. And over the years, a lot of people thought that was a good thing because now they can give you a voucher. But obviously, they always plan way ahead of us, like way in time, way before our time, you know, way before we even figure out something. So a lot of those projects, public housing, have been tore down. So we actually don't even have a lot of them in a lot of states. Some states never had them. I know like Milwaukee, they have never had projects. I mean, I've been there several times, family there, they've never had projects. But, you know, I'm sure a lot of states don't. I know places like California, they still have projects, they need to. And yes, talking about California, how on earth in California are you supposed to survive, okay, without the Section 8 voucher? or some type of rental assistance. It's totally impossible. Most people do not make, what, $8,000 a month? I mean, you probably will have to bare minimum make $8,000 a month. And I do mean receive the $8,000 because they take all these taxes out to be able to afford a decent place in California. It's just impossible. New York also, same thing. So the bottom line is, it's diabolical. Diabolical, okay? That they're throwing people in America, American citizens, in the streets when his agenda was to keep foreigners out. Americans are getting thrown in the street, okay? It's unbelievable. So basically, to explain to some people that might be watching my channel, the Section 8 VOUCHER program is a rental assistance program, okay? Assistance. So every time you make $1, your rent gets raised, okay? It's a VOUCHER program, which is better than public housing. You can take that Section 8 VOUCHER and you can relocate to another state, okay? And they will base your rent. You can't pay more than 30% of your rent, basically. It's just, I mean, it's just so heartbreaking to me that they're throwing Americans in the streets. Sorry, you guys. I have to tape on my phone for now because I have relocated and I can't even find my battery charger to my camera. So I'm on one of my phones. So as I was saying, they're throwing Americans in the streets, not foreigners. Foreigners, they're thrown out our country, but Americans are being thrown in the streets, okay? So, as I was saying, the Section 8 program is a VOUCHER program. And what happens is, you can take that VOUCHER and you can move from different states, and they would help you pay your rent according to your income. My personal opinion is it was all a trap from the beginning before we even got to this point. Because, like, if you make $1, they take the same $1, okay? Meaning, like, you could never get ahead, ever, with these type of programs. And then but people need them, okay? Make no mistake. The reason why people are still in homes during the pandemic is because they had Section 8 or public housing. Because the people who didn't have it, they're just as poor. They didn't have Section 8. If they didn't have Section 8 or public housing, how do you think they were able to pay their rent? They wasn't. And then, oh my God, then they did some dirty stuff and told the landlords they had to keep these people in their places without rent being paid. It was bad on both parts. Landlords basically need the rent money to pay for their mortgage. So it was just wrong. But anyway, most people cannot afford market rent, okay? And that's why these programs were out to help. And then the public housing was for the, even more poor, like basically somebody who was disabled, can't work at all. Those are public housing. Those are places usually that you get rent assistance in a particular building. You can't take that and move from place to place. You would just be sitting in this one particular building forever, basically. You can move, but I'm saying you can't, that's not transferable. That subsidy would be with that particular project. That would be the difference compared to the Section 8 VOUCHER. So there's projects, and there's like senior homes, all of those things. And the way it looks that he didn't exclude disabled people, seniors, or anyone. Quite frankly, he plans on everyone. After 2 years, if you have these type of things, rental assistance, you are done. And it starts in 2026. And like, it's really, really, really sad. The only thing I can say is I thought it started immediately until I investigated. And I'll put that up here and show you the article where it says, where he signed that, and it says it starts in 26. So I would assume that the way it looks, 2026, you'll get a letter or something, and you'll have 2 years to complete the process of moving into a market rent home. So, what are we going to do about that besides pray? Because God is with us. There's options, okay? Always options. It's come the time when Revelations has already warned us that it's going to be a time where all families are going to have no choice but to get together, okay? So what you can do is you can get together with some family members. That's what's going to happen. You don't want to live in the streets. Prepare now. Save as much as possible. Maybe get together with some family members. I would prefer that over friends because, really is not dependable with friends. So some family members get together and you all pitch in. And, then you can be able to afford a bare minimum place. I would get the cheapest place you can get, the smallest place that you would be able to fit everyone in, okay? Because like the rent, that's another thing. There's no regulation. The landlords can keep raising the rent. So that's why I say that. The rent's like, in the East Coast, it ranges depending on what state you are, but everybody knows New York, you can't get a decent place less than $3,000 a month, okay? And I am talking rent. Okay, buying a home, that's a whole nother conversation, okay? A whole nother video. So I remember when I brought up to you in my last video about buying a home with your Section 8 voucher. For those of you that are able to do that, and you have like at least a $50,000 income, immediately I would recommend you sign up for the home ownership program like I had stated in my last video. If you did not see my last video, please go look at it. I explained to you in detail about the program. So what you need to do if you're able, and I would say at least $50,000 rent, $50,000 income, immediately sign up for the home ownership program. If your credit is not well, you have from now until 2026 to get that taken care of, to get yourself in that. As we speak right now, you will be able to get some assistance right now to help you to buy a home, okay? So that's the home ownership program. At this time, the home ownership program is not included in this program at this time. So we don't know when he's going to halt that program, but right now you're good. Don't depend on the 15-year limit that I was talking to you about. But that's probably your best bet. So anyone who already has a Section 8 voucher that has an income that's sufficient, I'm recommending at least a $50,000 income, because I can't imagine you getting a home less than, I don't know, late hundreds, depending on where you live at, 180,000. That's in certain small places, 200,000 for family. I can't imagine it. Definitely try, you guys. If you're able to do this with the program, please try to get a yard so you can plant your own food, because that's another video, okay, that we need to talk about. So you guys, it's really bad out here, and we need to build a community, all of us collectively, so that we can all help each other. It's really, really rough out here. So we can build a community all around the world, like things that each other people might need, or resources and stuff like that. I will be here for you. I will gather information for you. I will help you as best I can. If you want to be involved in building a community and helping each other and all that, please leave your email address. My email address is on my channel. Please send me an email. Leave the email address and where you're from. All you guys actually jumped out in the comments where everyone's from. I wonder who's watching me and from what areas, so I can tell you exactly what areas, have this, that, and some resources for you. Because like it's really bad in these streets. So yeah, you guys, jot down the comments below where you're from, that you're watching my video. So for those of you guys who are not able at all to be involved with the home ownership program, you have to prepare now. Now seniors had a special program with the home ownership program, whereas that 15-year limit, I'm not sure if I mentioned that in the last video, whereas that 15-year limit that most people had, or anyone had in the home ownership, the seniors did not have. Disabled seniors did not have to do that. They would be able to get help, period, like indefinitely. Now we have a new administration, so that program he didn't bring up yet, but that might be an option for you seniors, depending on how you feel about buying a home. Again, they're not going to find a home for you in a Section 8 home ownership program. You have to look for your own. Maybe you can find like a very small home, a trailer home or something like that. Not sure if that's covered under the Section 8 program, but I suggest you check it out. That comes to my next point. Tiny homes is something really going on now. The thing is, you need land. So if you guys can find a piece of land somewhere, do it now. They don't want us to own land at all. So if you can find some piece of land, and I do mean a piece of land somewhere, because they're not going to probably let you get a whole lot of land at this point in time. They have their whole agenda, okay, waiting for us, and it's not good. But if you can find some land that's still valuable out here, that's right now you can. I'm telling you, you can. Then you need to get together with your family members, buy that land, and get a tiny home. If the land is sufficient for 2 tiny homes, then that's my recommendation to you. Get 2 tiny homes. You'll own that. You'll own the land, and then you can fix those tiny homes up. Because like, you don't want to be in the street. The shelters, there is not enough shelters in America for all these people that are going to be homeless. Like I said, they did a research in America when we had the pandemic to decide and see if their agenda that they've been making for who knows how long is going to work, and they found out it is. Most people are poor. They're under the limit of 74.5, which means 74,500, and that's how you was able to get a stimulus check. Most people don't make 6 figures, and like, quite frankly, let's be quite honest. Most people in America make $30,000. Let's just be honest about it, okay? Not 50, not 60, 30. And that's why we have these income programs, especially single parents. It's unbelievable, you guys. Prayer and take steps toward preparing yourself. This is no time to sit here and say, oh my God, they're going to throw us in the streets. They are going to. So it's time to prepare. Let's collectively build a community so that we can help each other with basic needs that Americans actually are entitled to. You guys, my heart goes out to everyone. I know a lot of people, a lot of my clients are in the Section 8 program or / public housing from one state to the other, from New Jersey to New York, Pennsylvania, California, Milwaukee, Nevada. It's just hard to believe, you guys. I know a lot of people that's going to be affected by this. It's really sad. But, it's sad, but we must move on, okay? So I'm here to give you some options. So that's my recommendations to you. If I find out any other recommendations, I will make another video. So number 1, the first recommendation, if you can get together with family, put some money up now and try to get a place together, okay? And be able